great many of my characters and situations in my books come out of Harlem Live. The emotions in a number of my poems are the emotions of the Harlem people. They come from communities where schooling has often been very poor. They themselves may be, and very often are, quite bright men and women, but their backgrounds academically hasn't been of the best. And they bring to Harlem with them many of the problems and prejudices of the Old South. They also bring sometimes a quite rich and somewhat different vocabulary. And it's this vocabulary and this way of talking that people seem to like. Much of the material from my simple stories comes from things that I actually overhear in the street, in cafes, sometimes even at home. Recently I wrote a little simple sketch which grew out of something that my uncle-in-law said one day. They were talking around the dinner table about people going to heaven, and he said, every time I hear of anybody going to heaven, he always wants to sit on the right hand of God. He said, the right hand must be so crowded, can't anybody else get on there? When I get to heaven, he said, I'm going to run right straight toward the left, because I know there's plenty of room. So I took that and developed a little simple story from it. When I get on the A train and get back to 125th Street and come out and look around, and there I am in the middle of great, big, black, beautiful Harlem, I'm happy. I woke up this morning about 3:30. All the women's in town was gathered around me. Sweet gals was a-moaning, Sylvester's gonna die. And 100 pretty mamas bowed their heads to cry. I woke up a little later, about 4:30. Doctor and undertaker's both at my door. Black gals was a-begging, you can't leave us here. Brown skins crying, Daddy, honey, baby, don't go, dear. But I felt my time's a-comin', and I knowed I was dying fast. I seed the River Jordan a-creepin' muddy past. But I still sweet Papa Vester, yes, sir, long as life do last. So I hollers, come here, babies, for to love your daddy right. And I reaches up to hug 'em when the Lord put out the light. Then everything was darkness in a great big night. I went to Columbia University in New York City for a year. I didn't like Columbia very well. A big university in the very heart of a big city, it didn't seem to me to have what I thought was a feeling of college life or campus life. And then, at that time, there was prejudice at Columbia. I had difficulty getting a room in the dormitory as a Negro student. And then, being interested in writing, I wanted to become a member of the staff of the Columbia College newspaper, The Spectator. And so I tried out for it. You had to go through sort of preliminary test and show some ability. And do you know what they assigned me to? Me, a Negro student, they assigned me to society and fraternity news. And they knew very well that I had no access to most of the fraternity houses or dances that the white students went to. And so I was unsuccessful in making the staff of The Spectator. My father had wanted me to become a mining engineer. By that time, I'd made up my mind that I'd like to be a writer. We didn't agree on objectives. So at the end of the year, I wrote my father in Mexico City and told him that I had decided to try to be a writer, and if he didn't approve of my plans, he needn't send me any more money. Well, he didn't send me any more money. I found myself in New York City with only $13 at the end of my college year, and that is what I started out in life on. Ever since that time, I've been making my own living, and with this $13, I went down to Harlem, got a room, and began to look for a job. Here on the edge of hell stands Harlem, remembering the old lies, the old kicks in the back, the old be patient they told us before. Sure, we remember. Now when the man at the corner store says sugar's gone up another 2 cents and bread 1, and there's a new tax on cigarettes, we remember the job we never had, never could get, and can't have now because we're colored. So we stand here on the edge of hell in Harlem and look out on the world and wonder what we're going to do in the face of what we remember.